Hi, welcome guys. My name is Emmanuel Omaria. This is the Kunjani Podcast, and my friend Youri is here to join us today. Youri is from Cameroon and he's a student here at Utah Valley University. And Jerome, the man of the hour.
What's good, bro?
How you doing?
Chilling. What up?
Oh shit. Okay. Well, Kunjani, I'll just give you guys a brief, introduction. Kunjani means how's it going? It's a South African Zulu word, and that's the name of our podcast.
Mm.
So today we're gonna be interviewing Jerome and just getting to know a little bit about Jerome, and we'll see how that goes. So just tell us what we need to know about you, Jerome.
Yeah, I'm also going to be interviewing them, so it's going
to be a back and forth.
A little bit back and forth for sure. But
I like that.
My name is Jerome Currelley.
Okay.
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. I identify as African American, and I'm the program director for the African Diaspora Initiative. So I work with this guy.
Yep.
We also really work with this guy, but we don't pay him, so we owe him some money. So.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, bro.
I'm on the collect.
Yeah, we'll just get him some plantains.
He's here to collect. He's really here to collect.
Well, Jerome, where you from? What do you do here at UVU?
Right.
And just, give it us.
So the African Diaspora Initiative, our job is to create a home away from home for our students. So we have a bunch of wonderful Black and African students from the continent, from the diaspora.
Mm-hmm.
So it's our job to empower them and connect them to resources on campus and in the community so that you all can be successful. Mm-hmm. We also try to empower some of the community organizations and give out scholarships to students. So if you know someone who has a lot of money, you can ask them to donate to our scholarship, and that money will go to the student leaders.
Yes.
So
donate.
Please do that.
Donate. We have an Instagram, African Diaspora Initiative. You can hit the link in the bio and you'll find all our information there. Jerome is the program director for the initiative, and personally, I believe he's been doing a great job, and there's more to come ahead. Jerome, you're from Boston.
Mm-hmm.
What part of Boston are you from?
Oh, well, I'm just from all around Boston. I've lived in Boston has a bunch of neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Right, so I've lived in a lot of different neighborhoods in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how different is Boston from Utah, and how different is Utah from Boston?
Oh.
So, it's just...
Yeah, obviously we have the church here in Utah,
Mm-hmm.
so there's a big difference.
Yeah.
I think that, we have an LDS faith here.
Yeah.
In Boston, we have more of Catholic church. Yeah, there's a lot of Catholic church. I went to a Catholic school.
Mm-hmm.
I went through Catholic religion growing up with all the different processes.
Yeah.
What is the baptism, communion, confirmation. I went to Catholic high school. I went to Boston College. It's a Jesuit Catholic school, so there's a lot of Catholic type stuff in Boston.
Are you like Catholic?
We talked about no religion question. No, I'm kidding.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no. I see you the wild card, bro. You gotta watch out for him, man. He came to collect.
The collector.
I believe in God. I would say I'm non-denominational.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, bro.
That's a fair point. Is there something exceptional about the two places that you could kind of relate closely besides just the Catholic Church and having the LDS Church?
Bro. Yeah. Well, something that a lot of people don't know is that Boston has a very diverse community population. Right now we have an Asian American woman mayor.
Nice.
And previously the interim mayor was a black woman from Roxbury. Roxbury is the black hub of Boston, Actually, Dr. King went to school at Boston University, and he preached at 12th Baptist Church in Roxbury. So in I had mentioned the neighborhoods in Boston. 3 of the neighborhoods, you have Roxbury, you have Dorchester, you have Mattapan. That's where a lot of the people of color are.
Yeah.
So I would say that's different because we do have communities of color in Salt Lake, obviously not as much in Utah County,
Mm-hmm.
but I believe that my city is more diverse than Utah is. Yeah.
That's really
Not
good
to say that
know.
there isn't racism, because there is, especially with the wealth disparity.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So, but then there are places you can go where you will see yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, that's good to know. Hey, if you ever want to visit Boston, just Jerome's your guy.
Hit me up, man. Be careful, but hit me up.
So there's a place where you can go to like visit and feel safe, and other places where you have to like be careful.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've definitely been in situations in places where I did not feel safe.
Okay.
I think it has to do with your background. So where do you come from? Where did you grow up? If you grew up in, a predominantly black community, and if you grew up in an inner city or even a low-income community, and you're comfortable with that, you'll probably be able to adapt. But sometimes if you're not familiar with that, then it'll be difficult to adapt to that. But there are a lot of good people in Black Boston doing a lot of great things. So I can definitely recommend
we
a
like
few restaurants
great
and stuff.
things,
Yeah.
Are you a Boston sports fan? I know I can go into details. I don't really want to specify what teams. I know we have like in the NBA, there's the Celtics among others, like that are really putting Boston up there, But are you a Boston sports fan? What sport do you like? What sports do you prefer to watch? And
I'm out of frame. Hopefully this is recording. It's recording. I think it's recording. So, I mean, growing up, I loved football. That was like my first love, playing football. My older brother played football. His name is Sean. And I wanted to be like him. And so that's what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to be a football player. American football for my African people. You know, so throw it, catch it, all that.
Yeah,
I also played basketball. I ran track. I played baseball. Y'all play baseball?
No.
Y'all even have baseball in Africa?
We do not.
Y'all don't even have baseball, but y'all have a basketball league. No.
Yeah, we do.
It's popping?
Yeah.
Yes,
it's doing okay.
Okay.
I don't have exact statistics about it.
But it's doing okay because
Yeah.
they recruit players from back home, using those kind of stuff.
That's what's up.
So there's a lot of basketball players like I don't know how you say that in English, but like just like in like high school soccer, like when you see someone who is playing really good and you can just take him and put him in the good team
like
kind of
recruiters.
thing. Yeah,
Recruiters.
Is that what they call recruiters? Y'all, you're from Cameroon, right? Your soccer team is good? The national one?
No, we are good.
They're in the World Cup, man.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
they're about to be playing World Cup.
Okay.
Even in basketball.
So we got Cameroon right here, we got the Celtics right here, we got this good energy, bro.
This really powerful. It's really powerful, and thanks for being here, Youri. And
how y'all doing? How's Uganda doing?
well, Uganda.
On the spot.
But yeah, you just put me on the spot. There's a lot about Uganda going on right now, but soccer-wise, I know we really are not doing really great. I'm not gonna lie. It's not. The team is still kind of shaky, but I know we're doing good in rugby. Rugby.
Okay.
Rugby is going pretty good for Uganda, among other things. But
what about cross country? Because you placed pretty high in the Utah Valley Marathon, 5K last last year.
We have gold medalists from we have Kiprotich, we have name it, I don't know, Akibua, the late Akibua, among others. So I think we just have the spirit of when we get on a sport, we're trying to do our best. But running, we're good.
Yeah, I will Venmo $5 to anyone who's not an athlete at UVU on a D1 team that can beat Emmanuel in a mile. You go out to the track, $5, bro.
In a mile, I'll take it.
Or 10 if you need 10.
In a mile.
Okay.
You wanna be that guy?
We can try.
Okay.
I don't know. You can't hurt.
Okay.
Sounds good. Hey, we'll keep you guys posted on who wins. We'll actually
we'll keep you posted.
do that.
But I think Emmanuel is gonna smoke me.
When I go, I'm like,
he's gonna smoke.
I'm like the
Yeah.
Flash.
He
I'm like the
can't-
human Flash, not the fictional.
I feel like 20 will get more people. $20.
$20.
$20 is pretty, especially in college. $20 is like okay.
Yeah,
Right?
that's
2
like
meals.
Yeah, let's
that's
go.
about 2-3 meals.
Yeah.
Can you go on a
like,
date with $20?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely
Okay.
could.
Okay,
Like,
so we gotta get ladies in the comments.
Yeah.
Can a guy go on a date? Is that a good date with $20? Because
yeah.
now y'all have to.
I mean, from a guy's perspective, I think $20. You could.
There's a lot of things you can do with $20.
Yeah, because
That's
a
not to
date.
say y'all are cheap though. You're not saying
No,
that
it's not being
you guys
cheap.
are gentlemen.
Yeah.
Right.
So we can go eat ice cream or like
Yeah.
2 burgers, like one for me, $20.
Do you expect? Okay, this is going off course, but do you all expect to always pay?
On a date,
Is there ever splitting? Is it if she asks to go out,
See, for
you
me-
ask? How does that work?
I
Go
think
first.
whoever suggests the date.
Okay.
Let's say if a cutie hits me up and she's like, hey, let's go to this place.
Mhm.
Like that's her like suggesting that.
Right,
So like
right.
I will still come ready to just in case of anything.
Right.
But I'm not gonna be like, oh, like if she's gonna pay and like it's totally like there's no, it's out of goodwill. Or I don't know, maybe goodwill is not a good word to use, but like she knows that it's her idea and she's gonna pay. I'm fine with it. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna reject that.
Right.
But I'm ready. I'm always ready. Like I always
to
have
pay, bro.
something. So if it comes to that, I'm gonna get my wallet, my card, and cash it. So I just think it depends. If I hit you up and I'm like, let's go, it's me. I got you. Like I got everything. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got you. That's
But
cool.
How about
me,
you?
I'm more traditional. It's like whenever I go out with a girl,
Yeah.
even if she's not my girl or I'm
Mhm.
not trying to hate or like it's a friend, I'm paying. I
You're
don't know.
paying?
It's like automatic. I don't even think about it.
Mm.
And I think like sometimes I'm like, shish, I'm broke. I'm trying to save this money, but I need to pay for it.
Right. Yeah.
But
man.
sometimes there's like good girls out there, and like some offer to pay. Like
Yeah.
one time I went on a date with this girl, and I didn't know where I put my wallet, so I was looking for it, and she was like,
Well, I don't know where my wallet is. Trick.
Yeah.
No, but like
he was trying to do that trick.
But like no, that was real though, cause I couldn't find it, and then she actually paid for it, and I was like, I felt really bad. I was like, no, we can't do that, like, cause like that's just how I was raised, right?
I feel it, bro. Gentlemen.
but
Either way,
I don't
whatever.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but either way, like for me, it's fine.
That's good. How about you, Jerome? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm
before
married.
we, go on with.
I'm married, so but my wife and I, we share expenses.
Oh, which is
We
great.
share expenses. Yeah, but yeah, we look out for each other. For sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How do you going back, to the
Mhm.
program
Oh.
lineup
Yeah.
of today? How do you identify racially?
I identify as Black, and I identify as African American.
Mm.
As you see, you got the African American flag right
Oh
there.
yeah. Can see it.
Yeah, but I identify as that because being Black is, to me, is a global thing.
Mhm.
We have the continent,
Right.
and we have the diaspora. We have the new diaspora, right? People who are like, if you all choose to move here,
Mhm.
and then we have a diaspora for the past hundreds of years
Oh,
who
yeah.
were brought here forcefully. So, yeah, there's just it's such a complex thing being Black. It's really complex.
Mm.
But yeah, I identify as Black and I identify as African American history because I'm very proud of what our ancestors did here
Yeah.
in the face of the different challenges that they had to go through. So I feel like that's where I get my strength, my identity.
I've never heard of that one before.
Yeah.
Which one?
Identifying as both Black and African American. Like most
Mhm.
people usually choose one.
Right?
Yeah.
They do? Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah, man.
yeah.
But that's powerful, and it's great, because everyone, like, when you say it's your first time hearing that, I think the way different people look at it, like there are different perspectives on it, because sometimes I can say, oh, this, but I don't have like reasoning to back it up, like an explanation to make it clearer to
Oh,
everybody,
man. Yeah, bro.
For
sure.
So it's really powerful, and thanks for,
And some
giving
people
that.
just identify as American.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Some people identify as African American, African American.
Yeah.
Some people just identify like as Haitian or Jamaican. But
Yeah.
then you have Jamaicans who identify as being African or Ethiopian because of their spiritual beliefs. It's really, really complex.
It's
Whatever
really,
makes you
really
feel
complex,
good, bro.
yeah,
Whatever
actually.
empowers you.
Yeah, we are in the 21st century. You can identify it as anything you want to identify to.
Basically.
Really, yeah. I mean, I can't add anything to that. There's nothing that.
But it's
tops that.
interesting though, because like when you go to like some South American countries like Guatemala or like Honduras and stuff, you see like how people view that thing. It's like, oh, I identify as African Latino or like Black Latino or just Latino. It depends on what you feel proud of.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like where you get your power, your confidence from. And
Yeah, and having it be something that you determine. But we also have to like recognize our privileges.
Yeah.
I think that's an important piece too. Like I can say I'm African, I can say I'm African American, I can say I'm Black, but then I also know I have certain privileges because of my skin tone, because of I'm a native English speaker, because I'm an American citizen. I have different opportunities, and other people from different cultures have different privileges. It's a privilege to know yourself and be able to speak your native language and know who you really are.
Right.
So I recognize that. Sometimes I'll say I'm African, but I recognize that we have different backgrounds and experiences. So it's just about love, love for who you are, but recognizing that there's diversity in that. Yeah.
I like that, you say love for who you are. That's really, really important.
Powerful.
It's like a powerful point, powerful line right there. And it's fact, It's really fact, So getting back to, what are your goals for the African Diaspora Initiative as, the program director currently?
The pie in the high. Someone asked me recently, what would the pie in the sky goal be? I think that if we could have all Black students, African students have scholarships, that would be ideal. We would need a lot of money to make that
100%.
happen, but if we could do that, that would be powerful. Up to this point, I probably can't say, but we've given out some scholarships, and people can go to the donation page. It goes through the foundation, so they kind of have to communicate how much people get or who gets what, but we want to be able to give more scholarships to students. I think that's powerful. Something that everybody talks about, and I'll just put into the universe, is having an African Cultural Center. That's something that we need because we have faculty and staff who are African, students, community members, and sometimes we don't all know each other because we're all spread out throughout the university. We have our office here, and we're going to make the most of this space. But that's one of the visions that students and faculty and staff have for the future, is having a center for us to come together and celebrate the diversity of our cultures, and that's something that's empowering.
And as a student that is, part of, this initiative and very actively involved, with the club, Black Student Union, and working with the initiative, I think that is really something that we need, we maximize this space that we have, but just if we had a bigger space, it would even be, things would be way better. It would be more effective, efficient, so I think it's important. So
and just to speak to that, we're going to maximize the Center for Global and Intercultural Engagement, which is this LA 116, and our office is LA 114, the Multicultural Student Services. But we have a computer lab. We have the lounge here that we should be able to use. We have the conference room, the lobby. So I want African students to know that you're welcome here, and let's show the community that we do need a bigger space. by using this and maximizing this space and showing that, hey, okay, now we need to grow.
Yeah.
You know.
And growth is something that we cannot do just individually. We do it as a village, you know, like as together.
Right.
You know,
Right.
pamoja, like we say in Swahili, you know. So it's really important. It's really, really important.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And moving on, we're gonna talk about we're organizing a Juneteenth event, you know, for Juneteenth. It's a big thing. Like, you know, you see on social media, people are like, oh, what is Juneteenth? You know, like it's like so popular, like, you know, but there is a great deal of us that do not know what exactly Juneteenth is, like why it is celebrated, why it is called Juneteenth, or, you know, like the importance of celebrating this day. Right. Because some people, you know, they're just like individuals, like I could be one of them, that just hear the word and like, oh, we gotta celebrate, you know, like it's everybody celebrating, you know, and it's just we have our event coming up. It's gonna be on the 16th of this month, which is gonna be a Thursday, and we're doing it together with the World Refugee Day, which is usually on the 20th of June. Right. So we're doing our Juneteenth and World Refugee Day together, which will be on Thursday, like I said. So I'm gonna give it all to Jerome and Youri to share ideas about Juneteenth and
actually,
you know, what
I'm one of the people who don't know a lot about Juneteenth.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm willing to learn.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
that was really good. That was a good. He's good, bro. He came to collect.
Yeah.
Well, firstly, we know that the Africans who were brought to this country, and through the transatlantic slave trade, or trade of enslaved people, were very skilled and very knowledgeable, and came from great and beautiful African civilizations. They brought us over here because we had skills, and they believed that we could endure and contribute to developing the United States, or before it was the United States, developing these colonies, European colonies, through agriculture and through fishing and through different forms of labor, you know, raising cattle and livestock. A lot of the people who were brought over actually brought things from the continent with them. There are women who had seeds braided into their hair, and they brought it over with them. So there are certain plants that are here that actually were from the continent or in this hemisphere that were brought over during that time. I think it's important to recognize that, because it's very often told that prior to colonialism that there was no history on the continent. And we know that to not be true. And it's also taught that the people that were brought here to be civilized, you know, and we know that's not true also. We know that people who were brought here came from organized societies and were highly skilled, and that's why we were brought here. So I think that's the first thing to like think about when we think about this legacy of like what it means to be an African American, where we come from. So that was a mouthful, but that's like the first piece for me.
Yeah.
And then understanding that during the civil rights, the Civil War period, when Abraham Lincoln was president, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation, which told that the Africans who were enslaved in the southern colonies of the United States, that, you know, if they joined up with the Union, they could be freed. Because those states were seen from the point of view, the Confederate states were seen from the Confederacy from the point of the Union was seen as rebelling. Yeah. So they were trying to say, well, hey, if you guys fight for us, you know, then you have your freedom, something like that, you know. And the thing about back then, so Juneteenth is recognized as June 19th, 1865, because I'm fast forwarding a little bit from 1863, because there was a general who went to Galveston, Texas, and gave an order to the Africans there that, hey, you all are no longer enslaved. And this was actually months after the the end of the Civil War. So technically the people were already free. So it just kind of shows that, you know, even though they were free, they didn't know that they were free.
Right.
So kind of just honoring the emancipation of the Africans in America from the institution of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
So celebrating our African heritage, celebrating the fact that even though we were in a terrible situation, right, you know, we were considered property, and the so-called slave master could come into your home and do whatever he wanted to your wife and sell off your children, and you had no really control over your life and your destiny.
Yeah.
But even despite of that, we still got married, and we had weddings, we still had babies, and we still had rituals, and we still created songs, and we still strove to be free. So I think that's a huge part of what it means to be an African American is, you know, despite those challenges, we are still going to persist. And we come from a people who have contributed greatly to the development of this country. And we've built a life here despite all the different challenges. So Juneteenth, people celebrate through cookouts, being with family, being with friends. So we're going to do our best on campus to have games, have speakers, have performances, have music, and to honor this event. And it's open to everybody. Everyone should come.
Yeah.
We partnered with the World Refugee Day because one of our colleagues here is in the office, works with refugees, and we just felt like it was good timing to collaborate. So we'll also have some people speaking on behalf of the refugee community in Utah. And the food, we're going to have a food truck, and the first 100 people are going to get food vouchers. So if the event starts at 6, make sure you come, check in, we'll have a table, give you a voucher.
Right.
But if it runs out, it runs out. And the event's going to go to like about 9, depending on how people are feeling. We have our speaker, we have some music, and we'll try to have a good time. And, you know, hopefully people have some really good conversations and enjoy themselves.
Yeah, just to, you know, you really did a great job there. But just to add on a little bit, you know, hopefully Youri has a better understanding of, you know, Juneteenth
Yeah,
now.
I do actually.
Let's do it.
Yeah, what I wanted to add is that, you know, the day, you know, being on campus, you know, on the 16th, come through, be a part of this. And if you're curious and want to know more about Juneteenth, World Refugee Day, we'll have people that will be able to help in, you know, a better understanding of why these days are important to everyone that, you know, that celebrates it or celebrates them. I think it's a really great opportunity to, you know, socialize. And, you know, usually school events for me are where I will show up and just ready to meet different people with different ideas. And, you know, these ideas, you bring them together and you can always take them with you out of school. You know, when you graduate, you know, maybe you're going to meet your next co-CEO or name it.
Well, I thought you were going to say your next boo.
Yeah.
But
That too.
I'm somewhere else.
Come back. I'm just kidding. But that too, you know, it's important for students like me and Youri. And every day is a learning process. You're going to learn something different that you did not know.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important.
Especially for us as Africans.
Yes.
We moved here, we don't know a lot about the
Yes.
the black history and all what you guys went through. Because we usually see it in like a different lens with like our understanding of like what happened. So most of the time we don't know your perspective. Like back home, I didn't know like what really happened. The Black History Month and all that. So like I'm learning more and more about the African American culture, the black culture.
Yeah, bro.
So yeah,
come get us, bring us back home, bro. Bring us back home. I think that we should share the best of each of our cultures with each other.
Yeah.
Because what happens a lot is that, I don't know if it's a conspiracy, but for some reason, you all on the continent oftentimes can be shown the worst parts about
Not
what it
often,
means.
but like most of the time.
Okay. You see the worst parts of like what it means to be Black in America. You know, you see like the negativity and like that's so bad because we have so many people in our heritage, our elders, my grandmother, you know, my family that aren't that. There are people in the community that may represent, but they take a very small section of the community and then project it. And it's similar to what we see on the continent. Yeah, there are conflicts on the continent. There are challenges on the continent, but that's all we see. We don't get presented a full picture of the different beautiful cities and the development and just we just see like, okay, the person who's starving, and y'all just see like the gangster guy, and like we have to show each other the best of our cultures, and if we can do that, then we'll grow.
Yeah, it's really upon us as individuals, you know, from the continent and our brothers and sisters here, African Americans. It's upon us to, you know, bring this like light out, you know, because it's the shadows that are being shown. They're like, oh, sure, you're from like, you know, Africa. You're African American. So like we just know what we see maybe in the media, on social media, and like, oh, say this country is just, you know, corruption, it's this, you know, blah blah blah, and then this ghetto, it's just hood, it's like just all these drugs and you know, gangs and blah blah blah, you know. I think we as, you know, enlightened individuals, we think we can, you know, bring out the better part, you know, of these different sides, and you know, open up different perspectives and views, because it changes when we have conversations like this, and hopefully we're gonna have more conversations. Like this is how we educate each other. We get to know what we do not know, and you get to know what you do not know, because we've seen things firsthand, you've seen things firsthand, you know, so like we're giving you the real, you know. So I think it's really important, and that's really a good point. I like how you guys, you know, kind of your conversation just, you know, got entwined, and you really brought out a different, you know, point that is really not considered by so many people. And even those that consider it always are like gonna be put back and don't want to really talk about it, because they were like, oh, I don't want to offend this person, or I don't want to be offended, you know. So it's hiding in that. The important thing to do is to actually come out and talk. Conversation is important. That's the beginning of anything. Conversation. At least that's what I think. I'm not really studying.
No, that's a fact, bro. I feel like also is like love. We talked about love. And love to me is not like, is more like, okay, I care about you as a human being first, and I care about your well-being. We're all here breathing the same, we're sharing the same air. If we care about each other as human beings, you know, and then we respect each other, and we have a relationship, different relationships, but we have relationships. Then if we talk about these things, we're doing it through the lens of love, and through the lens of peace, and through the lens of, you know, being brothers and being different. But I think it's only problematic when people come into the conversation, they don't have a relationship with the people around them, and they have just something that they want to get off their chest that's and they're problem oriented. And in my opinion, personally, I just feel like, you know, it's just better not to even have that conversation. Like, if you're not in a place where if you're triggered and then we all leave triggered, that was negative. You know, if you're struggling and you're in a bad place, we should say, okay, let's put the conversation aside. Like, how can we support you? Because maybe you're not feeling too good about yourself, or maybe you're not feeling connected. The first thing we have to do is be connected as people, and then okay, we can talk with love. Like, if you disagree with me, like, we're still gonna be good, you know. And I think that sometimes people just want to jump right in and bring up all the problems and all the differences and all the reasons why we can't be together. It's like, okay, we might as well all go home right now, you know. So
it's really been a great time. You know, like I like that we all have different great points. You know that we've said, and we're coming to
the end
of this great conversation. This first episode of Kunjani Podcast. Did you have any closing remarks, Jerome, before we sum it up?
If you can beat Emmanuel in a mile, I'll give you $20. And I'm not gonna give everybody $20 though. That's the thing.
Just the one.
Whoever
who
comes in first.
Oh, right.
You have to be a UVU student, and you also have to win the race and coordinate. And
dang,
this is just
so
me personally. This is
me.
Not me as the program director giving you $20. So yeah, bro, you don't have to do it though.
I'm down.
I'm just trying to bring it back to the lightness.
Yeah.
We're trying to end on a light note.
Before we really end, I want to again remind us and everybody, all the viewers, that on the 16th of June we'll be having our Juneteenth celebration and World Refugee Day. We start at 6 p.m. and we go up until 9 p.m. So we'll have food, we'll have games, we'll have speakers, performances, and literally it's gonna be fun. So just come through and let's have a fun day.